Hey friends, I wanted to make a short video about poison and some of the other poisons out there that you may have never tried and why you should give them a chance. So I'm sure if you've played Rogue recently, you are very familiar with Bite of the Sraa, which is this poison, and the icon looks like sort of a green poison bottle, and it's great. It gives you, I believe, about 60 procs. It lasts a good 3 to 4 hours as a buff, and it does those procs until they're all used up, and then you just trigger another one to rebuff yourself with the poison. But how many of you have tried Strike of Ssraeshza? I don't know how many know about this poison. It's one of those that you cannot craft until you're already have a skill. I think it has to be a skill of 300 before you can even craft this. You have to already be like a master at poison making before you can do it. It's not sold on the merchant like the Bite of the Sraa is. And Strike of Ssraeshza is different in the sense that you only get one charge. And you might say, well, that's stupid. I'm just going to keep using Bite of the Sraa. But that one charge does a lot more damage. And that's what I want to demonstrate. But before I demonstrate the damage that it does, well, how is it made? Let's go over here to my mortar and pestle. And I'm going to do strike. I already have some of the recipes here already done. And I'm going to be making this for a lower level rogue. So we're going to do this one here. I already got the components. And you buy the components off of this guy here, like always, like with many of your other poisons. This is toxicologist Huey over here. You can see there's his name. And, you buy all the ingredients off of him. And what you need is the plain sealed poison vial. You need the grade AA Chorshine or Chorsen sample. Some of these words, man. The celestial suspension fluid, the emulsifier, and we're just going to hit combine all. And I'm going to be giving this particular rogue is level 90, but I'm going to be giving this to my new rogue that I created for the sake of doing our raids that we're going to be doing. And if you're unaware, starting on the 21st of this month, we're going to get together and we're going to start doing raids. And if you're someone who's returned recently and you're looking for a guild or whatever to do some raids and stuff, come seek us out. The guild's name is Chamber of Chaos. And we're going to do sort of our own little progression at our own pace, of course. And we're starting off, we're getting everybody to level 51. And we're going to just do the old school raids. We're going to do Nagy, Vox, and Finny. And we're going to be doing just the instanced raids, so that way we don't have to worry about competing with anybody or getting, photo bombed, so to speak. So it should be a good time. And then we're going to move on to Kunark and then Velius and so on and so on. I'm going to load my rogue up with some of these poisons. Again, the rogue is currently only level 45, so that's why I'm making these level 45 poisons for them to use. And I'm going to compare the damage that they deal using this poison compared to the standard Bite of the Sraa poisons. To make this poison, you want a plain sealed poison vial, grade AA Chorusine sample, celestial suspension fluid, and emulsifier, and combine them together, and you will get Strike of Ssraeshza 7. So I'm here in Nagy's lair, gonna fight some kobolds, and let's start off with our regular Bite of the Sraa 7, right? So we're gonna cast that, and there we go. And make sure my tank is active. I didn't really check. And I will make sure to, scroll and look to see how much damage is being procced, how much damage is being done when that poison triggers. Okay, so we're invisible again, so we'll be safe because my bard is playing their song. So you see here, you hit a greater kobold, and it's 1250, so 1250. Bite of the Ssraeshza. Let's scroll up, see if there's some variation. If I might have had it go off more than once. Okay, it looks like it just went off the one time. So let's go fight a couple more and see, I know these are light blue, but I think it's still going to be good enough for this example. And I have the mercenaries just because I have a tank and a cleric. You want to stay alive for the example, right? All right. So let's take a look here. I'll scroll up and see if we got a few more triggers of that poison. That's Strike of Opportunity. That's not the same thing. That's just from one of them crappy augs. And again, okay, there we go. 1250 for the Bite of the Ssraeshza. So it looks like it's just about always going to be 1250. So now I'm going to click that off, and I'm going to use this other poison here. And as you see, that does have a 60 triggers. Oh, so it's only triggered the one time so far. So here we go. I've got a stack of 100 of these because you can see here it only has one trigger. It only has that one there, but it will last an hour. Okay, it lasts an hour, which that's plenty. That's more than enough because once it triggers, it's gone, So it either lasts an hour or until it goes off. So let's pull this guy here. And boom, he basically instantly died, guys. The nice thing about this is because it works similar to potions, it's not like the old poisons where you needed to basically duck out of combat, kneel down or whatever it was to apply poison. You don't have to use apply poison anymore. But let's scroll up and see how much damage that one did. And it did 2,489 for the strike to trigger. So that is at least double of what the other one did. So this one's a nice dark blue. Let's try to pull him. And we have the poison already applied. He died pretty much instantly. And let me add the poison again. So where would a poison like this be useful? In my opinion, a poison like this would be very useful during any kind of raid, because you're constantly getting dispelled anyway, especially if it's like a Nagi or a Vox raid or something like that. Those dragons are constantly dispelling you. So why not have a poison that could do way more damage for the time that it does actually get to be triggered before it gets dispelled, instead of constantly having to refresh your other poison that does half the damage. Do you see where I'm getting with this? So let's do it again. He just dies so quickly. Oh, I don't want to fall into the lava, man. Let's back up a little bit. I'm getting spun right round like a record baby round. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's pretty much when that poison triggers, it's about instant death. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of a cooldown, but it's not too bad. And every time I do it, it's like I'm casting like a fat nuke on these guys. Oh, he's over here. Let me kill... Okay, I killed him right away. Stupid cleric that was healing everybody. I got to take him out pretty quick. So let's scroll up now that we've gotten everything dead. So you see here we did another 2762, and it seems to be pretty regular. Like that's not like a crit. And just wait until you get up into like the higher levels, like 80s and 90s, and you use this kind of poison. Oh man, I it, if I remember correctly, I think I did about 25 or 20, 24, 25K with my level 90 rogue using this kind of poison. And here's one where I hit the advisor for 2042. So I guess that was mitigated just a little bit by that one. There is one here where it only did 1596, and that is again the strike poison. So that it can occasionally get, I guess, maybe partially resisted or something. I don't know, where it can do a little bit less damage. But I think it's worth using these poisons. They seem to be pretty cool, very useful, especially in like those like a raid situation where your buffs are getting dispelled anyway. You may as well have one that will trigger right away because it seems to trigger as soon as I attack. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the other one where it might trigger. There's like a percentage chance. This one, it seems to trigger almost as soon as I attack, and then there's a little bit of a cooldown, and then I can recast it if the thing has a lot of hit points, like a raid mob, and I might get 3, 4, 5 triggers of this over a larger mob with way more hit points. So that's what I wanted to basically show you guys. I wanted to show you this poison. Have you guys used this poison or not? Let me know in the comments. So again, it's Strike of Ssraeshza, and there's different ones, of course, according to your level. This one is for levels 45. So Strike of Ssraeshza 7, and it goes from 1 that I think can be used at level 15 all the way up to level 90 that I've made so far. It probably goes up to 120, 125. I'm not sure. I haven't been able to craft poisons up that high yet because my rogue is only level 90. But do you think this is better than the other poisons? The Bite of the Ssraeshza over here, 7, where yes, it can do up to 60 procs, and it still does a substantial amount of damage. About what was it doing? About 1200 for a single proc, which is about half of the other one, right? But sometimes it procs, sometimes it doesn't proc at all during combat, while the other one seems to be pretty much guaranteed. And let's give that sort of a test here. I'm gonna activate the poison again. I'm gonna go find one more kobold to kill, and it does seem like a guarantee, in my opinion, that it is gonna proc. So let's fight him. Boom! It procced right away. And of course, there's a little bit of a cooldown. Oh, actually no, because I had applied it before, and there we go. So here's the thing. This one looked like it was very much almost resisted. It only did 843 damage. So I guess it depends. It's like a dice roll, like anything else. On occasion, it does almost 2,500 damage. On occasion, it might only do 843. But it does seem like it's guaranteed to proc, whereas now let's just go for the regular Bite of the Ssraeshza, and it might proc and it might not, right? So let's go find us a kobold here. I think I just saw one running down this hall. There we go. And see, this one just works like any other proc. It still hasn't gone off. And at the end, there it did, and it's 1196. So one seems to be like it's going to go off. It's almost 100% or a 90% chance that it actually lands. When you start fighting as the other one, it might go off, it might not. At higher levels, it does go off a lot more because you have that AA ability that gives you a better chance of just any weapon procs to go off, right? And that helps a lot when it comes to rogue poison actually getting triggered or not. And I'm not even going to bother trying to fight with my bard just because I'm wanting to try this out. So that one went off and it did 1800 damage. So that was really good. Ooh, I don't know if my elf is going to be able to get past that. I think they've got a crouch. Yep. I was able to get past it by crouching. That's one of the bad things about disarming a trap like that. If it's just, halfway down, you might have a hard time getting out of it or getting under it. So it didn't proc at all. The bite of the Ssraeshza didn't proc at all during that fight, but my strike of opportunity procced twice. So, and again, those are just those augs that you get, the melee augs that you can buy from merchants in your home city. And maybe I can make a new video about that because it's been a while since I covered that. Oh, there we go. The bite of the Ssraeshza did proc at the end there, and it did 285 damage. So that's it. That's all I wanted to show you guys is these two different poisons. The strike of Ssraeshza compared to bite of the Ssraeshza. I'm sure you've all used bite of the Ssraeshza before. If you haven't, what are you doing, man? If you're a rogue, you got to use bite of the Ssraeshza because that is amazing. It's going to really, really increase your DPS. Even if it doesn't trigger every battle, it will trigger very often. Do you think you might be making some strike of the Ssraeshza for your future raids? Or maybe just to have some fun and go around with your rogue and doing some incredible damage now and then? Have you used it a lot? Do you have any advice for people that plan on using it? Do you feel like it's worth it? Do you feel like it's a huge waste of time? I'd love to hear your opinions and your feedback on this poison and your comments because, again, I like interacting with you guys. What's your opinion on Strike of the Ssraeshza compared to Bite of the Ssraeshza? Do you think it's worth it, or do you think it's a huge waste of time? Let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. If you disliked the video, you could leave a thumbs down. Whether you like or dislike the video, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. Tell me your opinions on the poison, or tell me what you liked or disliked about the video. What you would do to make the video better. If you like what I do here and you'd like to help support me and support the channel, consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Or you could join the channel as a channel member. Channel members get special perks and privileges like a link to join the private Discord. If YouTube memberships are not your thing, check out the links below the video for a link to our Patreon. Patreon patrons get similar perks like a link to join the private Discord. I want to thank all my current YouTube channel members and Patreon patrons for your continued support of this channel. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome and you're the stars of the channel. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Have a great day and a wonderful tomorrow.